Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of MIT University, Rajasthan, I welcome Dr. Gautam Karmakar. Dr. Gautam is a faculty in the Department of English, School of Humanities, University of Hyderabad. He is Alexander von Humboldt Postdoctoral Fellow at Multidisciplinary Environmental Studies in Humanities, University of Cologne, Germany. In addition to these academic engagements, he is also an honorary research associate at the Faculty of Arts and Design, Durban University of Technology, South Africa. Mr. Karmakar's research interests include the Global South Literary Studies, Post-colonial and Decolonial Studies, Women and Gender Studies, and Environmental Studies. He is also a series editor for the Routledge book series South Asian Literature in Focus. I welcome Dr. Gautam Karnak.
Thank you. I don't know whether I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. So
Thank you, sir,
to
for
the
your thought.
entire organizing team. Thank you, the Vice Chancellor. Thank you to Dr. Ashutosh, and thank you to all the faculty members as well as the participants for being there, and thank you to the organizer for inviting me to this wonderful platform. I'm extremely humble, and thank you for doing the kind of work you all are doing. It's absolutely fantastic and amazing. So as you see now, let me see whether I'm allowed to share my slide or not. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So as you see that I will more or less talk about the transformative learning and how picture books and environmental education, how can it foster environmental education in India? So that's the aim and objectives of our talk. It basically talks about that multiple studies that we do on environmental studies, that we do on the kind of children's literature. As I'm working on literary narratives, post-call and decol studies, and environmental humanities, my talk primarily focus on this kind of narratives and how we should come across with a certain kind of mechanism and a certain kind of pathway through which we talk about sustainable futures, through which we can at least envision some kind of sustainable future. So environmental education in this perspective is the early years significantly can enhance social economic wellness and educational aspect, fostering the development of children's capacities to become responsible young citizens. Tata will further explore how green educational picture books in India might foster eco-consciousness in young readers and promote environmental children's literature, thereby encouraging them to safeguard the planet and acknowledge their responsibilities regarding ecological concerns as grown up. The talk will further showcase how picture books, one or two or a couple of examples, serve as a kind of medium for transformative learning, engage with the environmental movement, encompass regional narratives, and utilize effective visual representations to enhance children's awareness of environmental issues and sustainability. Before we move to our next slide about the environmental education and everything, we need to showcase our positionality. Where do we stand now? As you can see from the graph, that we are living in the era marked by the anthropocentric and capitalist discourse, where everything is measured by capital and where humans are the prime force for exploiting nature as well as to exploit the other humans and non-human beings. So under the facade of developmentalism and tribes of the kind of resource extraction and accumulation that has been carried out heedlessly, it results a kind of ecological imperialism and a kind of ecocide. In that case, I believe that there is a need to make people aware or to about the environment, about how to safeguard the environment, about all the kind of planetary crisis. And if we can begin that from the early childhood years, noting that that time the memory and the imagination and the faculties are like a blank slate, that can be the best way, or that can be the early pathway to keep children, to make our future generations aware about what the previous generations have been doing, and how we can mitigate that to a certain extent. Here you can see there's a graph about the transformative learning. It's about experience, action, critical reflection, and reflective discourse. So all come together to make us aware, or to make any kind of learning transformative in nature. Not only about the action or what we are doing, it also incorporate a kind of our own experience. At the same time, it enables us to critically reflect on our action, and this action can further facilitate a kind of reflexive discourse where we can formulate further pathways to mitigate the problems that we ourselves have created. As you can see here, transformative learning theory, it emerges as a kind of straightforward cornerstone in the field of adult education, stemming from the innovative thinking of Jack Maslow in 1978. This theory focuses on the deep and essential transformations in thoughts and perceptions that shape an individual's self-image and perspective on the world. Transformative learning resides at the intersection of learning theories, differentiating itself from conventional ones that primarily focus on knowledge acquisition. It places equal emphasis on the process of questioning our beliefs and assumptions and engaging in critical self-reflection. Through this introspection, through this critical self-reflection, our worldviews undergo significant changes, or rather can undergo, often leading to a remarkable transformation in terms of behavior, fostering open-mindedness, refined decision-making abilities, and a heightened capacity to empathy and understanding of alternative perspectives. Now, this is the graph about the entire process that I just mentioned. On the transformative learning, it's about experience, it's about critical reflection, it's about the rational discourse, and it's about the action. Now, I'm moving to the second part of my talk. It's about the environmental education. The value in modern times introduction, it talks about that environmental education forms the basis of our understanding of the world and our role in it. It has been increasingly recognized that environmental education can be used as an approach to addressing issues associated with climate change, biodiversity loss, and other forms of environmental degradation. Now, we'll take a comprehensive look at the top 10 benefits of environmental education. This includes the promoting creativity and analytical skills, encouraging healthy lifestyle, and inspiring people to embrace environmental responsibility. It all begins with imagination and enthusiasm that are heightened. So environmental studies enable students from all walks of life to develop their imagination and interest. This learning brings humanity closer to nature, which leads them to wonderment or inventiveness. Nature exposure through hands-on experiences such as field trips, hiking trails, or interactive learning sessions allows people to develop their love for wildlife and observe different ecosystems or living animal rather than thinking outside the box when it comes to solving environmental problems. Environmental education can also increase our kind of critical thinking, critical and creative thinking skills. Like developing critical thinking skills are very much necessary for understanding complex environmental challenges and is one of the major aims of environmental education. Students learn how to examine the causes, consequences, and solutions for issues like deforestation, pollution, or habitat destruction using real-life examples. Also, by encouraging learners to come up with innovative ways of tackling green challenges, environmental education promotes out-of-the-box thinking among students. They use a kind of project-based learning approaches that call for collaboration between subjects taught in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. At a place now where I am in Germany, we have a park or a kind of kindergarten school here. And I can see that the children every day they come there, they spend the entire day with nature, and in the evening their parents they also come, and a kind of there is a kind of minimalistic zoo is there. So everything in the nature that can be accommodated within the park, everything is there. And more or less, they are spending the entire day, and there is a kind of pool there where children are using the pool, get in touch with the mud, noting that the mud carries a lot of kind of bacteria. Those are really good for the benefit of skin, and that can increase the what I can say the immune system of the children. Nowadays, we see that we always prefer to keep children within our home or within our safe territories. But here I can see, and there's the same tradition that is Denmark, that children every 2 3 days after they spend a whole day in the mud, noting that how the connection with the nature or connection with the soil can increase the ability, can increase their cognitive ability as well. So the connection with nature is very much needed from the very beginning. Now the healthy lifestyles are encouraged by the environmental education as well. Connect peoples more deeply with their environment. Environmental education can enhance health behaviors by promoting environmentally better ones. Young people who participate in activities such as gardening, hiking, or conservation projects understand better how their involvement in physical activities and spending time outdoors can contribute. Apart from that, it should be noted that environmental education emphasizes the significance of sustainable living, including the kind of organic farming, the use of renewable sources of energy, and waste minimization, among others, which are good for individuals and the planet at large. Personal health improves, whereas one's ecological footprint is minimized by embracing eco conscious attitudes. Here you can see environmental responsibility is cultivated by environmental education. It is about developing a sense of responsibility and stewardship for the environment. It involves experiential learning and immersive activities where people discover how ecosystems are interconnected and how human actions affect environmental sustainability. When learners conceive themselves as a kind of global citizens, they make decisions to save the earth. As such, environmental education requires people to engage in daily green practices such as recycling, conserving water, or advocating for policies that conserve natural resources. In most of the part in Europe, what I am noticing here, like every time we are using a kind of any kind of plastic materials, and it's written that uh, it can be recycled. And once you were done using that plastic material, you can go to the nearby supermarket, dispose that plastic bottle in a particular place, and you will get a kind of 25 cent for that one plastic bottle. This kind of practice of making people aware of not throwing the plastic bottle to any places, noting that plastic is a very different and difficult material to be disposed of, and also to get some money, thereby encouraging more people, thereby encouraging more people whenever they are seeing any kind of plastic bottles spreading outside, they're also collecting that. They are going to the supermarket, they are placing that in one particular place, and they are getting the money. So it has become a kind of collective responsibility for the citizens not to dispose any plastic bottles, since the capital market is also associated with it. My point is that there is a kind of very sophisticated and a very planned way of dispose the plastic bottles or not to throw them outside of the perimeters. Now we are talking about environmental stewardship, how it is fostered. Developing environmental stewardship in individuals and communities is the main focus of environmental education, which is based on concern for the environment. Stewardship involves preserving the environment today and in the future generations. Learners become custodians of nature when they undertake practical conservation projects, habitat restoration efforts, and community involvement that constitute to taking up environmental challenges and actively participating in seeking their solutions. Environmental education fosters respect for all living organisms through promoting equality among them as well as the biodiversity or so called. And that is why nowadays we are talking about not only about the human, about the more than human life also. Nowadays we are talking about plants, nowadays we are talking about the trees, nowadays we are talking about the other animals as well as their rights. So this is how we are trying to showcase not only the kind of love, care, and empathy only for the fellow human beings, but also for other sort of animals, and that is why the concurrent dog case in Delhi, it needs much more larger introspection, and whether we can rapidly take any kind of decision or not, it should be taken into consideration so many other perspectives. Environmental education in this era of Anthropocene, where humans are taking the large part and human are making all the decisions, it can increase climate change awareness. It plays a crucial role in raising awareness and comprehension of issues related to climate change in an era defined by the escalating climate change impacts. It provides scientific data on carbon dioxide levels, global warming consequences, and other factors that enhance understanding of the urgency needed towards responding to the situation. Through carbon footprint assessment and experiential learning opportunities such as the climate solutions and discussions about the mitigation and the adaptation measures, students can gain insight relating to human activities connected with the global warming. It's a kind of education actually it's needed for every sphere in our life. And in case of mining in several places in India, you see that we are not at all aware with the sustainable way of mining and what is happening when the entire mining construction or mining activities that have been fulfilled, but the waste, the entire garbage and the waste that make the entire community or the entire place polluted, and no one is taking care of this fact. No one is acknowledging that they are responsible for spreading the environmental toxins in the atmosphere. So the awareness is very much needed. It shouldn't be only about the accumulation of capital, but it should also be a kind of sustainable way of accumulating the capital. Since we are living in a kind of developmental age, and we can't talk about any sort of anti-development agendas, but that development should be sustainable in nature to a certain extent, if not so. Environmental education also kind of what I can say, it promote a kind of ecological literacy. Among the outcomes sought from the environmental education is the ecological literacy, which entails understanding ecological principles and systems. By appreciating the natural world's complexity, by studying aspects like biodiversity, ecosystem dynamics, and the environmental interdependency, pupils better appreciate ecological concept. In addition, participating in field studies, such as environmental surveys, enable individuals to learn directly about the local ecosystems and the organisms that dwell within them. So, yeah, within a larger aspect, this kind of ecological literacy is important because it allows one to understand why it is necessary to have diverse habitats where different species can coexist together to sustain life. The connection with nature is enhanced. Like by creating situations where individuals can interact and participate in a kind of wilderness immersion events, or even when they engage in any other form of nature-based activity. This study focuses on making participants feel like Earth belongs to them. what I mentioned time and again in this talk, that empathy and compassion are very much needed. Environmental education is the basis for empathy, compassion, and understanding towards all living beings, including humans, animals, and plants. Through looking into environmental issues such as habitat destruction, species extinction, or environmental injustice, learners become more aware of the connectedness of life and how human actions can impact vulnerable communities as well as ecosystems. By developing empathy through storytelling and experiential learning techniques combined with service project, one can understand situations experienced by marginalized groups due to environmental injustice. And that is why often in the class, this enactment, the storytelling or making the situation or making students aware of a kind of hardship that other people, other communities are enduring. It's very much needed. Unless until we acknowledge those kind of pain and hardship, we'll never be able to create or to foster a kind of atmosphere where care, empathy, ethics, and justice can be restored. This intergenerational equity concerns nurture an attitude that seeks justice for all species. As you can see here, it's a kind of lifelong learning, and obviously the civic engagement are very much needed. In summary, lifelong learning and civic engagement are at the center of environmental education for people who wish to be active players in promoting a kind of healthy environment. In addition to providing opportunities for inquiry-based instruction, like outreach initiatives, having citizen science projects, also provide leadership training courses on green activism. This study aims at imparting knowledge about ways of becoming change agents within one's locality. This includes activities such as organizing rallies against the harmful practices regarding the environment, or even against the negative policies which may not protect it in any way. Environmental education thus encourages people to keep working throughout their lives while learning more about the different aspects of caring about everything around them. I'm not sure whether you are aware or not. Within in this year, in a place where I teach at the University of Hyderabad, we have a big campus around 2,100 acres, and there the and the Telangana government, they tried to take away 400-acre lands to build a kind of industrial hub there. And University of Hyderabad campus is a place for some endangered species like pangolins and all. So all the students and the faculties, they protested for almost for 1 month to safeguard the land. So now even in a place in India, in a post-colonial India, this land grabbing policy is very much there. Government is trying to sell the land since our campus is very much at the heart of Hyderabad, at Gachibowli, and it has an immense monetary value in terms of capital. So government thought that it can be the best way to take 400 lands. What university will do with so much land? It's a kind of big forest, and the campus is there. But the students and the faculties, we all protested that no, it will not only jeopardize the biosystem, the biodiversity, but also it will be a kind of death blow to all those kind of endangered species. And more or less, once this expansion will begin, it will slowly grip the entire campus, and it's a kind of tentacles, and we will end up only with some buildings for the teaching and the learning process. So where to begin and why? So this educational perspective, this environmental perspective has not expanded extensively enough to significantly impact public environmental literacy, as the process needs to begin from childhood, emphasizing that childhood is the most vital time period for embracing and following novel and newly learned ideas. Understanding the environment and sustainability has significant potential to guide children towards developing curiosity, insights, and ethical principles that can contribute to a more sustainable world. This approach leverages children's inherent inquisitiveness and their capacity to interact with the natural world. The positive impacts of early childhood environment and sustainability education, ECESE, in social economic wellness and educational aspects are significant, contributing to the development of a children's skills to become young responsible citizens. Now you see, there's the images like early childhood sustainability education, how we can engage our kids, how we can engage our children, how we can engage our young siblings to sustainable environmental practice. Children can develop habits and values during their formative years. Introducing sustainable practices early can lead to a lifelong eco-friendly behaviors to a certain extent. When children learn to appreciate and care for the environment, they are more likely to carry these values into adulthood. If you go to the places like Bhutan or to some other parts of South Asia, in Nepal, you see, in most cases, the children are very much there with their kid and with their parents, and they are participating in those kind of eco-friendly and natural activities with their parents. So it's from the very beginning. Parents are also trying to foster those kind of values, to imbue those kind of environmental friendly ethics within those children, and it's a kind of knowledge that they are passing through generations after generations, and children are learning from their parents. Then when they become the parents, they are showcasing their skill to their children. So this is how it all begins from the early childhood years, and engaging in those kind of sustainable practices not only make the society a clean, safe, healthy place to live in, but also to the planet in general. So environmental education, it builds confidence in toddlers and preschoolers to tackle real world problems. By engaging young kids in real world efforts, they gain a sense of self efficacy and a belief in their ability to make meaningful changes. Environmental education, it can also foster a sense of responsibility. Teaching environmental sustainability helps children understand their role in preserving the planet. It instills a kind of sense of responsibility and empowers them to make positive changes, no matter how small. By facilitating a deeper understanding of the environment and the implications of human actions on it, environmental education builds a sense of responsibility and ownership in students, fostering a generation of environmental stewards. As you can see in a kind of representational image, two kids are there playing in the mud. Sorry, you see again how two kids are there and they are engaging in a kind of gardening, or taking care of the plants, or at least try to engage themselves with the natural world. Engaging with nature and the learning about the environment can enhance each type of a children's cognitive development. Activities like gardening, recycling, and nature work stimulate empathy by connecting children to the greater world. Environmental education encourages children to think critically about the world around them. They learn to ask questions, solve problems, and make informed decisions that benefit the environment. So it's about prepare the student for the complexities of the real world by promoting critical thinking. And it's now how we are thinking about the green school system in so many parts in India. Now we are talking about the green school system. It all started with Vishwavarati open school in the field or in the territory, and it's in so many parts in Latin America and in Africa. Now we are also thinking and talking about this kind of schooling. Successful sustainability education programs can work towards emphasizing environmental literacy development. It can boost creativity. It supports the well-being. Spending time in nature is known to have numerous health benefits for young children, including improved cognitive, cardiovascular, and immune functioning. By drawing learners outdoors, environmental education can significantly enhance well-being. But unfortunately, nowadays we are spending more. Uh, time in the screening, the screen time has increased, and even we can see that that the kids and the children, they need the mobile, they need that tablets, and they need to see those even to run their daily activities like eating or going for a sleep. So what we are seeing that we are now more engaged with the technology and not with the nature, not with the natural world, or neither, or we are losing the interest in learning the history, learning the stories of our nature, of our ways of perceiving the nature, or safeguarding the nature. We become so much technocratic and technocentric in nature that can only give us a kind of artificial happiness, that not about the nature, but about the own being. Now, what's the role of literary narratives here? Like the children picture book, or like the graphic novels, or the words, or the graphic narratives, or the comics, or the webtoons. They can actually increase a kind of our inner thinking. It can make us, to a certain extent, aware of the social problems. As stated by Donna Haraway, it matters what thoughts think thoughts. It matters what knowledges know knowledges. It matters what relations relate relations. It matters what worlds. It matters what stories tell stories. It all matters like what kind of stories we are narrating and what kind of stories we are listening. So literary narratives have undergone a kind of significant transformation because of writers' active involvement and exploration of interdisciplinary and intertextual approaches to writing. By incorporating methodologies from various disciplines, these narratives now transcend mere storytelling, serving as a kind of source of stimulus for readers, communities, and societies, thereby encouraging individuals to recognize and harness the potential for meaningful change and transformation. It's a kind of literary activism, how this kind of text do that. Now, transformational picture books, the last part of my talk. Pictures book that explore the significant societal and environmental topics, as well as reflect on the real life stories and historical accounts of environmental movements, can facilitate eco-critical dialogues, which refer to creating a space for learners to collectively analyze, address, or interpret the meaning of a literary work. Stories in the green educational picture books can be used as a kind of instrument for climate literacy, which outlines a kind of comprehensiveness or comprehensive understanding of the urgent need of climate action, its fact, causes, effects, and importance, with a focus on cultivating the principles, mindset, and behavioral change that promote planetary sustainability for the present and for the future generation. There is an Although the talk focuses predominantly on India, but I decided that to make it a bit more global in nature. So these are the name of some of the picture books, as you can see, where we will see different kinds of environmental issues that have been discussed through images from the perspective of the children. And in some of the cases that the children become the hero or the environmental activist, is how to promote environmental education through the perspective of a children. Picture books about environmental issues and activism. Mawamitti, it's a story about Wangari Mutamathai. She was the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2004. Wangari Maathai, she led a movement called Green Belt Movement, where she planted 40 million trees across the world. So, and there are so many books, so many children books on Wangari Maathai to make children aware about the life and about the activities of this Kenyan activist in the field of environment. There is another book, One Plastic Bag. It's a kind of beautifully written tale about how one woman cared enough to rid her village of plastic waste that attracted disease-carrying insect and killed local animals. Here you can see some the names of some other books: Life in the Ocean, The Story of Oceanographer, There is a kind of you can pair the book with the one on plastic, but it's a similar story about the Mayan women in Guatemala, how this kind of people or how they are trying to safeguard their environment. And often we see that when the children from the very early childhood years can read this kind of narratives, they can try to imitate that. You just imagine when in our days or the impact of a serial like Shaktiman, what Shaktiman did, and so many young kids tried to emulate that and lost their lives in the same way. If we can showcase some of this kind of environmental stories, children will try to copy that. Children will try to become a woman or a man like this kind of people, and this will ultimately enhance their skill, enhance their environmental thinking, and in return will make them a kind of environmentally conscious citizen. There is a book by Jayanti Manakaram. It's called Chipko Takes Root. Here Jayanti tried to tell the story of Chipko movement, of hanging the tree and not let the others to cut it from a child perspective. Thereby, it's another attempt to make our future generation aware of our culture, of our history, and of our story. The another book, The Forest Keeper, the true story of Jadav Payam. What one What can one person do in the face of global environmental degradation? Indian Jadav Payang has proven that each and every one of us can make a difference. As a boy, he began planting trees on a sandbank in the state of Assam. Nobody believed that he would succeed in doing so, but since 1979, a forest to the size of a central park has emerged, offering a home to countless animals and plants. It was not until 2007 that a photographer accidentally discovered the forest and made Payang known to the world beyond India. I mean, this man, he created an entire forest. And Reena Singh has sensitively recreated the story of young Jadhav in Ishita Jain's picture book, debut as illustrator. Readers can feel immersed in the spectacular habitat whose experience borders on a miracle come true. There are some other children's books. Like this book can underscore the significance of environmentally conscious practice as a means to comprehend the interaction of ecologies at local, regional, and global levels within cultural framework, as it is essential to cultivate environmental awareness locally and promote worldwide responsibility. Pictured books, as discussed here, can promote ecological wisdom by combining ecological awareness with location-specific knowledge in socio-ecological practices to achieve mutually beneficial relationship between humans and the natural world. I'm going to end my talk with a quote from Wangari Maathai. Like, you cannot protect the environment unless you empower people, you inform them, and you help them understand that these resources are their own, that they must protect them. Yeah. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your understanding.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking insights. Now, I would like to introduce our session chairs for technical session 1.
Yeah.
Online. Professor. He is joining. Okay, meanwhile, those who are having class, you can join the next class, okay? And this is called experience with here. उनका जो एक्चुअली निर्देश दिलाएंगे तो होगा लेकिन प्रेजेंट ऑफलाइन आपके तो उसके बाद हाँ सर
So I believe we can start now. Please check Dr. Rajnikant, please join the call. Around, please check. We give 10 minutes. Presentation start. Okay. Very long is now. Yes, I'm fine. So can you start? If I have a zipper, I'll go to the Yes, on. Okay, please start.
We are privileged to have with us Dr. Rajnikant Rajan sir, professor at NITMAR University, Pune, who will be joining us online. Dr. Rajan sir has extensive expertise in corporate finance, project appraisal, and real estate investment. He has conducted numerous management development programs for leading companies, organized conferences, and published extensively in reputed journals. He also served as associate editor at Emerald Emerging Markets Case Studies and editor of the Journals of Real Estate, Construction and Management. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. Thanks for introduction and invitation.
Also, we are equally privileged to have with us Dr. Samrat Srivastav, sir, Assistant Professor of Commerce at KES Shroff College, Mumbai. He heads the Center for Universal Human Values and Indian Knowledge Systems and is actively engaged in teaching, training, and research in entrepreneurship, leadership, humanities, and management. Dr. Srivastav has presented at reputed conferences, published widely, and conducted training programs with students and faculty. We welcome you, sir. Supporting as the session co-chair, we also have Dr. Abhineet Saxena, sir, Amity Business School, Amity University, Rajasthan. Dr. Abhineet Saxena, sir, is an associate professor at Amity Business School, Amity University, Rajasthan, with over 14 years of experience, a postdoctoral PhD UGC NET qualified scholar with an MBA in finance and coordinator of the Yunus Social Business Center, Amity University, Rajasthan. We welcome you, sir. I take the privilege of inviting the session chairs to preside over this session.
Regarding the rules and regulations, we'll explain.
So, before we begin the technical session 1, here are a few guidelines. Each presentation must be completed within 8 to 10 minutes. A buzzer will ring after 8 minutes. Judges will evaluate on 5 parameters, 10 marks for each, total 50 marks. First, originality and novelty. Second, research methodology. Third, clarity and organization. Impact and practical significance, and quality of data analysis. The Best Paper Award will be announced on 22nd during the valedictory ceremony. Also, for PPT sharing options are you can either share your screen and present directly, or we will play it if already shared with us. And the sequence of presentations has already been circulated, so kindly be ready for it. First, we have Miss Prerna Rinva.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Prerna, a research scholar at MIT Business School. Today, I'll be presenting my research on the role of technology in sustainable agriculture, conducted under the guidance of Dr. Savdeep Vasudeva. So, let me begin with the abstract of the study. It explores how technology contributes to sustainable agriculture in Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan. It highlights farmers' perspectives and accessibility of smart technologies under challenges such as climate uncertainty, resource scarcity, and market fluctuations. It also addresses behavioral, economic, and infrastructural factors that shape adoption. Let's move to the introduction for better understanding of the background. As agriculture is undergoing rapid modernization through technology, innovation, and policy reforms, the aim is not just to enhance productivity but also environment protection and social equity to maintain a balance between people, profit, and planet. India is now integrating AI, IoT, sensor based technologies, and mobile advisory services in agriculture. Government efforts like research, development, and innovation schemes support innovation and widespread adoption of technology in agriculture. This leads to the research question. The study aims to identify, does age, education level, and land holding size influences the adoption patterns of smart farming among farmers. To frame these research questions, we turn to the literature of the study. IoT, AI, robotics, and big data are reshaping agriculture. Internet of Things enables real-time monitoring of irrigation, nutrient, and pest control. Artificial intelligence and predictive analytics improve decision-making for crop management. But along with opportunities, there are also some barriers. Adoption barriers include high cost, digital divide, poor infrastructure act as significant barriers to technology adoption. Climate smart agricultural practices effectively integrates adoption, mitigation, and productivity goals. The next two slides summarizes key contributions from recent studies. For example, Kwai, along with his team, highlights IoT-enabled systems that allow real-time monitoring of irrigation and pests. D. Alvis and colleagues and another research by Chikaiza and his team shows how big data and artificial intelligence improve predictive decision making for farmers. Dhanaraju and researchers show precision farming reduces wastage and boosts sustainability. While these technologies having strong potential, but it also highlights several barriers. For example, Pal and his team discusses land fragmentation, whereas Tantai and his colleagues emphasize the role of affordable credit and local knowledge. Debrin and team mention high capital costs and skill requirement. All these barriers require a comprehensive approach combining financial incentives, infrastructural development, and training as necessary. Now let's move to the research model of the study. The framework of the study is based on technology acceptance model to investigate how demographic variables influence technology adoption in agriculture, where independent variables are age, education, and landholding size, and dependent variables, frequency of technology use, and perceived ease of technology use. This model also illustrates how farmer demographics influence their interaction and adoption of agricultural technologies. Here are the hypotheses developed for the study. There is a significant relationship between farmers' age and the frequency of technology they use. Second, farmers' education level influences their frequency of technology use. Third, there is a significant relationship between landholding size and frequency of technology use. Fourth, farmers' age affects perceived ease of agricultural technology use. Fifth, farmers' education level impacts the perceived ease of technology. Sixth, there is a significant relationship between landholding size and the perceived ease of technology use in farming. To test these hypotheses, quantitative survey was conducted where the questionnaire was distributed digitally with the help of WhatsApp groups, and a sample of 101 farmers was collected across Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan. The questionnaire covered demographics, adoption patterns, ease of use, perceived advantages, and challenges. Let's move to the findings of the study. Let's move to the analysis. For data analysis, one-way ANOVA test was applied, which revealed that age is significantly impacts both the frequency and ease of technology use. Education level also strongly influence the frequency and ease of technology use. On the other hand, landholding size was not significant factor in the adoption of technology use. So the findings of the study means that younger and more educated farmers adopt and use technology more effectively. Age and education emerge as crucial enablers for technology integration in agriculture. The analysis indicate landholding size is irrelevant, even small farmers benefit equally. This highlights that personal and cognitive factors matter more than the farm size. Targeted intervention and training programs are essential for less educated to bridge the gap and ensure inclusive agricultural development. Like most researches, this study also has some limitations as the as The study was conducted with a relatively small sample size as the data was collected from 3 states. Reliance on self-reported data, which may include some biasness, and future researches should aim at more diverse and large samples employing mixed methods and should consider longitudinal studies to observe trends over time. Further studies can also explore of peer networks, the role of farmer cooperatives, and the impact of localized policies. Let me conclude my presentation with key takeaways. Age and education significantly influence adoption of agricultural technology, highlighting the need for targeted outreach. It indicates that benefits can extend to all farm sizes. Policy should focus on bridging the digital divide through proper training, digital literacy, and equitable access to technology. For sustainable agriculture, inclusive adoption is important, ensuring all farmers benefit equally. Thank you.
Sir, Rajni sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, in fact, Prerna, it's a very timely topic. I hope I am audible to you.
Yes, sir.
It's a very timely topic, and the literature review that you have identified.
Yes,
So
sir.
some of the more scope of further advancement in your literature review that you can look for is
Yes.
about since your study is more focused on India, and hence you should to look at more papers from Indian origin.
Okay.
So you can focus on some of the papers which are in your area also. Maybe you will not get many papers because these are very recent topic, and maybe you won't get papers on this particular theme. Yeah, but this is what I was saying. I was unable to view the slide. So in fact, I was not aware whether you have the slide sharing option or not. So I just heard your presentation. I couldn't see it. Anyway, I have noted few suggestions for you. Is about you have right now collected data from 101 farmers.
Yes, sir.
And that too also from 3 states. You mentioned Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I think your sample size could be a particular concern, though you called it as a pilot study.
Yes.
I agree with that. It's a pilot study, but still with 30 data, what within Punjab, where did you survey? All these are important things to look for. So you can
Yes.
discuss with your supervisor that a pilot study in such a wide geographical area, will it be a good pilot study to rely upon, right?
Okay.
And we could have done 101 maybe for only Punjab, only Haryana, or maybe only Rajasthan rather than distributing this. So you just go through and talk to your supervisor. He will supervise, guide.
Okay.
So no question, but this was my observation.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was very nice, and I have one question.
Yes, sir.
What have you thought of government intervention in terms of policies and taxation for the farmer?
The farmers, government is currently like there are multiple programs as per centrally and also for particular state governments. They are providing various subsidies to for adoption of technologies in agriculture, as there are many machinery, sensor, drones, or for that government has subsidy programs, which is different for every state.
So will you be mentioning that?
Yes, sir. So this was an investigation study. Should I move
I just
forward?
had a
Yes.
query.
Yes, sir.
So it's good. At least you have that information about
Yes,
it.
sir.
It was very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Preda, I have one suggestion for you.
Yes.
Like you have done online survey of farmers.
Yes.
You need to justify
Yes.
how you approach these farmers, and
Yes.
farmers were able to respond you digitally.
Yes, sir. I prepared the questionnaire in Hindi as well as in English because some of them asked for English.
Okay.
So I prepared in Hindi and English. So like I send these through WhatsApp groups,
Okay, so
farmers
in
WhatsApp groups.
methodology
Yeah.
section, you must define the demographic distribution of your respondent
Okay.
so that we can relate. Yes,
Yes.
farmers were able to respond to digital channel. Otherwise, people can ask question that this is real data or this is a cooked data.
So in
Right.
one of the slides I mentioned about this that I
Okay. Another point, you need to check the sampling procedure also, as sir has already mentioned
yes, sir.
that you have collected from 3 different states. So what was the sampling procedure?
Yes.
Right? So you need to justify some points related to methodology. What
Okay.
was your sample frame?
Yes.
What was your sampling design?
Yes.
Define your universe,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
And the applied test was sufficient or not to justify your objective,
Okay.
right? Because these tests never gives the idea about impact. These tests are only for comparison.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can only compare among multiple categories of respondents.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can't check impact.
Yes.
Right, so you need to check these things in your final paper.
Okay.
Right, thank you, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Next, I would like to call upon Ms. Vibhuti Mangal.
And she's on, is there? Okay. Machines and squadrons. Machines and and please share the PPT on online portal so that other can also check. And switch on the video also, camera.
But wait, one second.
Yes, just click on share sound. Share the entire screen.
I just need one second.
First of all, share.
Yeah. No, I just need to check whether it's showing only the portion which I want to share. I have some notes also.
Thank you, I can say it.
Okay, fine. So please switch on the video as well, Canara. Video.
Just a second.
Please confirm this is visible or not slide.
Is it visible to the online audience?
Yeah, it is visible to me.
Okay, thank you so much for confirming. With your permission, I would like to begin. Thank you. So, today's presentation is very interesting. It's very close to my heart. It's not related to my PhD thesis, but it is something which is of very interest to me. And this is very much required in today's world where we are generating a lot of waste. And since this conference is focusing on three major keywords, green, AI, and entrepreneurship, you will find all three elements in this PPT. So let's just quickly see a few images here. So if you see this, it's a very nice photograph of marine biodiversity, right? It looks very calm, composing, very beautiful. And now look at the second image. Everything is dead. The reason is oil spills, which keeps happening all over the world along coastal regions. So this is very disheartening that this is happening. Humans are trying their best to control the spill, but the methods that we are using as of now, we are using synthetic or like metal infused solutions, which is again a problem for the environment. So we are creating a solution by creating another problem. So why this research matters to me? In fact, why this research should matter to all of us? Because we are humans, we are part of the environment, we do not dictate the entire Earth's ecosystem. We need to save Earth, save environment, We need to protect the marine biodiversity because it is going to impact the land's flora and fauna as well. So we need to reduce pollutants, control spills in a way which is sustainable. We need eco-friendly solutions and biodegradable solutions. And something which is available in abundance and is an underutilized resource. So it is going to meet a lot of sustainable development goals set by UNESCO. So the topic of today's presentation is reimagining human hair as a frugal innovation for oil spill response. I'm Mass Coordinator with Bhuti Mangal, currently doing my part-time PhD with MAT. My professor guide is Dr. Preeti Yadav. So let's first understand the problem. So the oil spill threatens marine biodiversity and coastal livelihoods. As you can see from the photographs, the entire coastal region, this is in fact middle of the sea wherein an oil spill has occurred in the past, it's gone for a toss. And if you see towards the right images, you can see an albatross and fishes almost covered in oil. The bird cannot fly, the fish cannot breathe. We are killing the marine biodiversity knowingly, unknowingly, and spill is something which is not 100% avoidable. So, just give me one. Okay. So, if we see, India has a coastal line of approximately 7,500 kilometers, and we do have frequent oil spills in preparedness gear. And if we talk about the latest news, in 2025, Kerala has seen an MSC Elsa 3, which is a foreign national vessel, which was en route on 25th of May to another country, and near coast of Kerala, it kind of sank. So immediately Coast Guard and Marine Indian Navy was called in on, it's around Kochi, and Coast Guard was called, right? Dornier aircraft was also utilized. They spread the same synthetic material which we are talking about. They spread from the aircraft, and INS Sujata, Arnev, and Saksham were utilized. They deployed booms, skimmers. These are the current technologies and vessels wherein they suck the oil and put it in a container in between the ocean and take it back. Another thing is boom, which is kind of a tool which blocks the area into a certain part so that it doesn't reach out to the other part of it. And skimmer is something which absorb it, but these all are synthetic materials. And it was done with Kerala government's national disaster management authorities. But it took them more than a week to control it, and we have never got a report wherein they could claim that it's 100% controlled and there is no harm to the marine biodiversity. And it's a May event, and we are still in August. I checked yesterday, and there was still no clearance which was given by the government that it is all good to go. So, now what solution could be there? We need to look for a frugal innovation solution, right? So which should be affordable, locally adaptable, and resource efficient solution. So I'm proposing hair, human hair. We can utilize animal hair also, but I have done my research only on the human hair. So it's oleophilic, which means it attracts oil, and it's hydrophobic, which means it repels water. So it's the perfect solution. It won't get wet by water, but definitely it will absorb all the oils. It's bio, which means it is going to stay above the water, and it's biodegradable. If we keep it moist environment, high temperature, and proper microbial activities, it can degrade within 4 to 6 weeks as minimum. And in dry environment, it can take up to 2 years, but the research says 4 to 6 weeks we have conducted it. And one more important thing, if we talk about in Indian context, cultural abundance. We have got lots of salon waste and we have got lots of temple donations. Majority of the stuff goes to foreign land. 85% actually, the global market of raw human hair comes from India, which is a huge, huge potential. And out of that 85%, majority of the stuff, right, it does not get used. Approximate 50% of donations and salon waste only gets converted to this 85% of human hair, which is getting utilized for wigs and other things. Rest 50% because they are short in length, because in general you need to have at least 12 inches of length for a proper wig. And the cuttings which we have in salons, they are of waste for everyone. So they just go to landfills and sewage system. But here they can be integrated into a solution and they can be made into mats. I will show you as we move forward. If you see another example, right, Tirumala temple, which is Tirupati, it generates 126 plus crore in hair auction revenue only last year, last financial year. And I have done studies on a couple of Southern India temples where hair donation is a norm. And if we see the next slide, the study objective for me is majorly three. First, understand human hair methods for spill mitigation. Understand its technical performance, cost, environmental safety, and in comparison with the synthetic solution which we already have. Like we already have it something, so why to propose a new solution? And then integrate it with AI-based oil spill detection. How can we make entrepreneurship models out of it? How can we make government policies aligned with it? So we will be touching upon, based on the time constraint, we'll touch upon all these topics. So latest SAR detection, we have accuracy up to 99% and there is 1% timing error. And the pilot is still going on in the Gulf of Mexico. They are analyzing 1500 plus satellite images on daily basis per second. And it is able to generate 70 plus alerts. And it can track slicks, which is, like oil spills up to 669 square kilometer, and it can do continuous surveillance for 12 to 24 days. The best part is the moment we start containing slick into the vessels and start absorbing it, the layer gets thin. Still, the system is able to give us up to 99% detection. So if you just put on the satellites and SAR, synthetic aperture radar, onto that place, up to 24 days, it is able to give you how the flow is increasing or how the flow is decreasing, how the marine life is getting impacted, so that the future research can be supported. Now, so there is one study done by Hashimoto Beltran in 2023, which talks about all these things. And he says he's run a pilot project with his team. So he said by launching this SCR oil spill detection with measuring wind speed variance and everything, 14 times faster convergence was achieved. I have put all these into my research paper. Okay, so next, we talk about the research methodology. So I've reviewed 16 peer-reviewed studies, all I could find from 2015 to 2025. There are 2 Indian-based theories as well, which do not talk about hair mats, but which talk about what is the problem of oil spills which is happening across 7,500 kilometers of coastal lines. So the thematic synthesis which we talk about is what is the material property, why only hair, why not anything else like cotton or everything, right? And what is the detection strategy which we are going to use, how the environment is going to be impacted, logistics, policies. And then there is one interesting case study. Why actually I developed interest in this as a research, apart from my PhD topic, is that in 2017 Ennore oil spill, I was deployed around the southern borders that time. So we had a massive oil spill in 2017 in Tamil Nadu. And the worst part is that NDMA failed miserably. Pumps broke, contingency plan was not in place. We have never even seen this kind of spill. It was approximate 250 tons of oil waste. There was tankers which was going across the coastal lines and they kind of got spilled. And we had immediately Navy was called in, Air Force was called in, we distributed whatever stuff we had, but there was no full-time contingency, as in India could also see these kind of things. So 35-kilometer of coastline. So we have seen this impact was 1 lakh fishermen lost their job for a couple of months, apart from losing marine biolife. If we talk about technical performance, 6 to 12 times of hair weight, it can absorb oil. Biodegradation, like we talk 4 to 6 weeks, and 3 to 5 cleaning cycles if we simply do air dry. So that is the model that we are talking about. Economic viability, so it's costing approximate 20 Indian rupees, and we have researchers showing that. The only part is I have not conducted a research from Indian context, but in the US dollar context, it is coming approximate $0.25, which is Indian rupees, and compared to the polypropylene booms that we are using currently, it's approximately 50 times cheap. Community production via women self-help groups, we have all over India, especially southern sector is known for this SHG group. Significant saving, we can see how much we are going to save through this. So Hidayat in 2024, along with his team, presented the decentralized logistic template. So for synthetic material, we have to have a centralized mechanism. We cannot give it these kind of costly items to everyone, which involves chemical also. But for hair, you can involve anyone. NGOs, schools, self-help groups, everybody, people who are living near the area, we can develop small centers wherein these hair mats can be stored in appropriate condition. minimum 6 months they can be kept with no damage. If there is no microbial activity, they are good to go for a long term. Now, technical integration, let's look quickly. So these are the AI enhanced images of a synthetic aperture radar, 95 to 98% accuracy, which we have talked in the previous slide. So this is very good, only 1% time error is there. Again, Hashimoto in 2023 and Hidayat in 2019, they talked about this in detail, and then NDMA also talks about using this to track coastal lines and see the what is the impact of the oil spill. Now, hair donations, we have talked about Tarumala, Palani, Sabrimala temples, and we can process into absorbent mats via SHG's local units, then stockpile them at coastal disaster hubs like we discussed, and then oil spill detection using SAR plus AI technology, because Navy and Coast Guards already have their SARs and everything. We just need to develop an AI mechanism wherein it generates those alerts, which is also done by Hidayat, which is generating 70 plus alerts. So very much usable for us. And now human hair composing, it takes 4 to 6 months, 6 weeks, sorry. So if we talk about environmental safety, no toxicity, there is no negligible aging, it's compostable, safe alternative. There is no metal contamination like the ones in synthetic shapes. And the best part, shelf stability, easily up to 6 months. So good, very good for us. Even after it gets wasted after 6 months, you make it compost, it's good for the plants because it has lots of keratin in it. It's made out of keratin. So key technical metrics here is 6 to 12 times of material weight that we are looking for, 4 to 6 weeks of degradation time, only 20 rupees of production, and 3 to 5 cycles we can utilize and keep it easily up to 6 months. Now, circular economy, we talked about like temple hair supply, terms of temple. Now, one question can come, why temple would lose out on the revenue which they are generating. So we are not going to target the 50% which we are transporting to, across the globe for generating revenue. We are targeting the 50% which they are not able to use. The short ones, the clippings which they are getting, or maybe like chote bachche ka mundan, all of these things are waste for them. So we are going to take that. So we are not going to target temple revenue because that's, next level political issue which will not be able to handle. So we'll take. And then next is salon waste, which is absolutely useless unless someone is getting bought. So these are the things which we can easily use. And in India Center Supply, we can partner. So this SAR detection, we have already talked about that NDMA is already implemented SAR detection for cyclone-prone shipping corridors, but the purpose is only monitoring cyclones and oil spills, not the deployment. But this study proposes the deployment. So currently Indian Coast Guard is the coordinating authority if anything happens. We have major ports in Chennai, Port Blair, Mumbai, and pollution control vessels, which is like they suck out the pollutions from the oceans and then give it back to land for composting, which is again creating a waste at the land. So they are just simply transferring land from ocean to waste. And we can have facility level preparedness by introducing ONGC. Now coming to the last part of it, this is based on secondary data. Most of the research has been conducted in the foreign land. At India level, I need to conduct what data I have gathered is, it's from temples, from saloons, how much SHG do we have? I have done all this data. The only part which I was not able to conduct is a pilot testing. Is it exactly in the Indian environment? How is it going to work? How are we going to implement it? And final approval from NDMA and Government of India and the National Green Tribunal. So I've already reached out to NDMA and Coast Guard and proposed this model with them. So I'm hoping once the proposal is live and clear, 2 to 5 years is the timeline which we are taking based on the approvals and implementation part. So for conclusion, it is aligning with SDG 6, which is clean water, SDG 12, responsible consumption, because we are utilizing the waste which we are producing and we'll be consuming less of synthetics, and SDG 13, which is climate approach. This is perfectly very well suited solution, grassroots level innovation and high level tech detection. I'm done with my presentation and I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Rajni sir, over to you. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Rajni sir, do you have any questions? Sir is muted.
It's mute.
Sir, we request you to unmute yourself. So, yes, I did read your abstract and it was very nice. The research topic is very good.
Thank you.
I have few questions. First of all, did you go ahead with the lab test of the entire process of oil and hair thing?
No, I have not gone through the lab test, but I have gone through the studies which was done. So US and Philippines have already done lab tests and they have started pilot deploying it in their coastal regions.
How do you get into alignment with government? So you said you're already approached them.
Yes, I've already approached NDMA and Coast Guard since they are the main line of authorities who deploy these solutions.
Primarily, it is all secondary data or the data which is based on international studies, right?
The lab testing is based on international studies, but the data which I've gathered from the temples, how much here they are generating, salons, how much they are generating, how much revenues they are generating, so that we can get a buy-in from the temples, which is a very much necessity for this model to be implemented, and data on SHG groups were all available in what all states across the coastal lines, and public-private partnership model I have also studied, so that we can include private parties to deploy it in even lesser than 20 rupees.
Okay. So, Vibhuti, in this particular paper, my questions are related to feasibility of this entire model.
Yes.
Because it seems like all the things you have taken from literature, someone else has generated this idea. What is new thing in that? Can you apply for some copyright or patent for this idea? How you are going to convert this idea into prototype or reality?
So there is no copyright or patent taken on the hair nets as of now. These are being utilized in US and Philippines as of now. The lab test has gone successful and they have given it to their marine forces to implement it. And in my research paper, I have put those photographs and studies as in how they are utilizing it, how they are finding it. Still in pilot stage in that state also. So in India, see, for them, hair paste which they are using is mostly taken from the countries like India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. So we are the producer of this. So for us, it's a very good thing, and we are purchasing synthetic material from them, wherein they are buying our raw material and using it. So I think it's the right stage wherein we should learn from their pilot study and start immediately applying to it because it has got no patent on it.
So what is your plan for this idea? Are you going to conduct this entire experiment?
Yes, I've already started. I run an own NGO in Jaipur. So I have my own NGO. So we are doing a little bit of experiment, but it's in very nascent stage.
Okay. So in this experiment, you are going to test particular this idea that
Yes, I know the type of oils which we transfer through coastal regions, the grade of oils. So we just do a little bit of I don't have the machine to compress it and sew it. So I've already conducted tests that by using the hair only, we can do the stitching. By hand, I've tried this, but I've searched for the machines which I should be able to utilize, but it's a handful of amount. So I would need to consider the finances before doing that. So as of now, what we are doing is we are considering different hair from different people, like thin hair, thick hair, dry hair. Everyone has got different type, and just keeping it in a pile of approximate 6 to 12 at most, and then dipping it in the oil and seeing how much is it able to retain, what is the pre-weight, what is the post-weight, and if I dry it or maybe just rub sand on it and then again try to utilize it, what is the benefit? So this is something I'm doing because I don't own a lab, I just run an NGO. So with the help of my self-help group, we are trying to see what best inputs I can also give to NDMA once I get a initial buy-in on my proposal from their end.
Okay, so I believe that this is something related to the business idea, not as a research paper.
No, it started as a research because I really found it bad. I approached to a couple of entrepreneurs and proposed this idea to them. But since it involves lot of testing, people did not like it. So I started studying about it. And then I was like, I'm not a business person. I'm a core technical person. So my idea is to do pilot testing and then tell to the government that, see, hey, it's possible. It's already being done. I have done tests. I am giving you the report. Just please go and implement it. So idea is not to earn out of it or make an entrepreneurship for me, but to make it open to the government and to the public-private partnership and small help groups so that they can earn meanwhile controlling a national disaster. So this is not for profit earning in my head. This is for giving opportunities to the underprivileged people and controlling the national disasters.
Okay, fine. So just a suggestion, prepare a paper in a structured manner and please disclose all the experiment process and publish this idea as soon as possible because you are presenting in a conference. A lot of people are listening this, right? So at least you should get some benefit from the idea. Okay?
Thank you.
Academically especially.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've taken up my notes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ms. Diksha Yadav, who will be joining us online. Has she joined? Ms. Diksha, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and we can see your screen as well.
Also now stick to the time.
Ma'am, please stick to the time. The time limit is 8 to 10 minutes and a buzzer will be ring after 8 minutes. So please take note of this.
Is my PPT visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay.
Full
Good
screen
afternoon,
mode.
everyone. This is Diksha Yadav, a research scholar from Amity School of Languages, Amity University, Rajasthan. I'm glad.
Ma'am, can you please switch to full screen?
Tell her to continue.
I'm facing some issues. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am, it's fine. You can continue.
I'm glad to be here in front of you all, and my research paper revolves around the topic the Zoya factor, a critical analysis of food, memory, identity, and myth in contemporary Indian society. The Zoya Factor is a popular Indian romantic comedy novel that blends cricket advertising and love with a touch of superstition. And later, this novel was adapted into a Bollywood film. This novel is written by Anuja Chauhan and was published in 2008. It is a blend of chick lit and acute social commentary. The central argument, the paper analyzes the novel use of food, specifically the breakfast ritual, as a central narrative element to explore themes of superstition, gender, and identity. The analysis uses insights from Roland Barthes' mythologies and Bronislaus Malinsko's work on ritual to explore how modern media creates new myths from everyday acts. Anuja Chauhan's The Zoya Factor 2008 is unique text that goes beyond a simple romance novel to offer sharp social commentary. This paper hypothesizes that the novel uses symbolic and ritualistic importance of food, specifically the breakfast ritual, to critique national identity, gender roles, and pervasive superstition are constructed in modern Indian society. Catalyst, a substance that helps in a reaction to happen faster but itself does not get used up. And so we'll be now talking about food as a catalyst. A superstitious ritual. The Indian cricket team believes that breakfasting with soya ensures victory transforms a mundane act into performative ritual, displacing accountability. This ritual allows the team to shift responsibility for their performance from talent and hard work to a lucky charm. Commodification. The novel critiques this behavior, highlighting the commodification of belief. Luck was now a business plan and I was its flagship product. To more focus on the identity, memory, and modern myth, we can see that Zoya's identity as a lucky charm was anchored in a specific historical moment as her birth coincided exactly with India's 1983 Cricket World Cup victory which was a historical moment and was remembered by everyone. This event was a powerful collective memory for the Indian public and gave rise to her status as a modern myth and a symbolic goddess of luck from a normal advertising woman. The breakfast ritual elevates Zoya from an ordinary advertising professional to a commodified cricket goddess. According to Roland Barthes, mythology's ordinary act like eating can be imbued with deeper ideological meanings. Zoya's morning meals became a sacred pre-game ritual now, which transformed her into a magical object similar to a talisman described by Malinowski. Gender and the female body describes a lot. As we can see, Zoya's depiction as a Devi connects to traditional folklore where women represent fertility and luck, which also shows the tradition and culture of the nation. Food becomes sacramental as her presence at meals is a talismanic act now and is sanctified by the team and revered by the public. Zoya's female body is coded as divine and consumable at once. That became a site for patriarchal, capitalist, and religious discourse. As we can see, Zoya has an assertive professional life. Her public role was paradoxically tied to the passive act of eating rather than cooking or professional skill. The novel also highlights a central paradox, saying women may enter public spaces, but their value can still be defined by a deeply ingrained patriarchal gaze, which explains how women today can access public spaces, but society often judges them and measures them by appearance of conformity, which concludes that freedom of movement does not guarantee freedom of gendered scrutiny and control. Through this paper, there are several key findings. We find out that food as a catalyst for myth making. As we can see, the breakfast ritual transformed a mundane act into a potent symbol of superstition, where people and the Indian cricket team believed that having breakfast with Zoya made Indian team win all the matches they played, and which transformed Zoya to a cricket goddess. This echoes Barthes' concept of mythologizing everyday objects. Finding 2 describes about the body as a contested space. Zoya's body is simultaneously divine and consumable. As she enjoys professional freedom, her value to public is paradoxically tied to the passive act of eating. Superstition versus meritocracy, which is very influential in this case. The novel presents a central conflict between the team's reliance on Zoya's luck and Captain Nikhil Koda's belief in hard work. This ideological tension reflects larger societal negotiation in India between tradition and modernity, which also questions the cultural aspects. There are several impacts and benefits of the research which this paper reflects on. Deeper literary understanding. This analysis shows that the Zoya factor is more than light reading. It's actually culturally significant text that uses food and cricket to explore complex social issues. Where food is an aspect of living life, people had also made cricket a way of living and feeling good. Contribution to food studies. The paper contributes to the field of food studies by demonstrating how culinary practices are imbued with deep social, religious, and political meaning in post colonial context. Insight to gender studies. It provides insight into the complex nature of female agency in a society where women navigate a fluid landscape between tradition and modern liberation. In conclusion to this paper, the paper demonstrates how breakfast ritual serves as a central metaphor, revealing a society's fascination with luck and believing in superstition, its struggle with gender norms, and media's power to create modern myths, as the paper has shown that how the media transformed a normal advertising girl into cricket goddess by making people believe in superstition. The novel's resolution conflicts and resolutes that the teams win without Zoya becomes a powerful statement that skill and effort ultimately triumph over superstition. That becomes a key message for a developing nation, as hard work and teamwork leads to success and victories. This research also connects to Sustainable Development Goals as SDG 5 gender equality. The research directly addresses this goal by examining the complexities of female agencies, the persistent patriarchal gaze, supervision of traditional gender roles in novel. SDG 10 Reduced Inequalities. The paper's analysis of class and social structures implicit in novel. For example, Zoya's unremarkable middle class background was contrasted with the elite world of cricket. It contributes the understanding of how the narratives can reflect. SDG 16 Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. By critiquing the irrationality of superstition and advocating the meritocracy and self reliance. The novel and this paper reflects that teamwork and hard work leads to victory and success. And thus, we get to know that food is life and can be studied and understood through food. Thank you so much.
Diksha, am I audible to you? Diksha, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much, Diksha. I've got one question. You've also mentioned in your abstract about a comparative study of a paradise of food with Zoya factor. So you did not mention that in your paper.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
In your abstract, you've mentioned a comparative study of paradise of food and Zoya factor, but you did not mention that in your paper or in the presentation. So that was one thing. Another thing is the research methodology of your exploratory study was missing. So that is one thing we seek some information on. And could you speak about cultural resistance in the novel which you have explored? Did you get all the three questions? Never mind, thank you so much. We move ahead with the next question. We move ahead with the next participant.
Now I would.
Sir is there.
Sir, would you like to ask a question? We move ahead with the next participant.
Next, we have Miss Divya. Miss Divya, if you can hear me, please respond.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Can I share my own slide, please?
Sure, ma'am.
Please allow the access.
Miss Diksha, please stop sharing your screen.
Access remove करो और फिर से access So can you see the slides, please?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. We request you to please switch on to full screen.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. Shall we begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Divya from Amity School of Liberal Arts. I'm pursuing my PhD in economics, and my topic would be financial inclusion in India, key challenges and key opportunities. So, financial inclusion means ensuring access to useful and affordable financial products and services for all, especially under-reserved and unreserved population. So basically to provide the banking and other financial instrument related services to all those who have do not access to it, and to make them more accessible at a cheaper price and a more inaccessible way. Then it empowers individuals to contribute to poverty reduction, supports overall economic growth, so that they can have better access to financial mechanism, and to help them to elevate the problems that are coming through the poverty to all the individuals. So then to talk about the major objectives of my study, the first objective which I have is to analyze the decadal progress regarding the financial inclusion. My study fully based in the secondary data which is already being provided by various reports such as RBI and World Bank. I am majorly relying on these two big institutions. The next objective would be to understand the potential barriers in the path of financial inclusion. How or what are the reasons that we could not achieve the full financial inclusion so far, even after achieving or even after contributing a lot. And the next objective is to provide the policy recommendation which can help to bridge the gap between the haves and have-nots. So to have the methodology, as I already mentioned, that my data is fully relying on the reports of the World Bank and the RBI. To analyze the first objective, the RBI has said that the financial inclusion index, which RBI is providing, and basically having three major indicators such as access, quality, and usage. RBI says that till 2025, the financial inclusion value is up to 67, which has increased significantly from 64.2 in 2024. And if we compare it from 2021, also we have 24.3% increase. And it has also coverage of banking, insurance, and pension sector. And the RBI is accessing or analyzing the usage, quality, and access to population. And the major weight is given to quality because quality is something which matters the most. Then if we talk about the bank account penetration, we have 89% of Indian adults have a bank account as of World Bank Global Findex, and over 55.98 crore accounts under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana has been held by women. So this is a strong indicator that we are achieving a great step towards women empowerment. If we talk about digital expansion, significant rise has there is a significant rise in the digital payments and mobile banking. And as of 24 December 2024, we have 107 digital banking units. If we talk about the rural sector, we have 372.6 million accounts in rural and the semi-rural urban areas, which contribute a major population. As according to census of 2011, we have a major population which still reside in the rural or semi-rural areas. If we talk about the impact of financial inclusion on poverty and livelihoods, financial inclusion helping to boost the household saving, because if the households have a bank account, they have a tendency to save more, and the savings has increased at 18% increase in household saving directly linked to your Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. If we talk about direct benefit or direct transfer benefit of Government of India, 25% leakages has been reduced and farmers are getting a better payment. And along with the farmers, there are other sectors such as MG Naregas. They are also getting the direct benefit of all the wages, as the middleman is not able to cut down the wages. If we talk about digital payments and the rural economy, the volume of digital payments is also increasing, and we have increased 30 times growth between 2015 to 2024. If we talk about the persistent challenges hindering the financial inclusion, we have limited branch network. If we talk about the major commercial banks or major banking sector, we have a limited access, and there is a strong need to have more cooperatives and the regional rural banks to increase their branches. The next thing is we have is digital divides. In the many of the villages, the internet access is not so strong, even if the people are struggling to adapt to 4G only, and that's why the digital payment mechanism is not working properly. A gender disparity, so a lot of the bank accounts are held by the male of the household, and still there are some women in the rural areas which do not have access to bank account. At the same time, some of them are there who do not even have a knowledge regarding a bank account, and even if they have, their husbands are the one who are operating the bank account, so they do not have a proper knowledge regarding the banking system. And another major challenge is that dominance of the informal economy. So even if we have full financial inclusion, we are still lagging in the form of informal economy, because informal sector or unorganized sector is also playing a big hindrance in the financial inclusion. So the key opportunities we have is we can expand our digital structure. We can leverage the UPI mechanism. As India is transferring its UPI to various other countries also, we can still use the UPI to decrease the gap between the rural and the urban areas, so that our financial mechanism can be strong. financial literacy drive, we need to have more financial literacy regarding initiative in the school as well, as we have chapters regarding banking sector in the textbooks of economics of NCRTs. We can make them more practical oriented, so that students should know how to open a bank account since the beginning of their school. They should able to know that how to avail the banking services, and that the practical exposure will be much more better rather than the theoretical knowledge. Fintech innovation, the small initiatives, the startups, and the insurance industry can also be taken up or can also be leveraged, so that we can use a technology based mechanism. And the women inclusion, as I've already stated, 55% account of PMG under PMJDY is held by women. It has to be more so that we can target more women or women centric groups, so that they can access more banking related services. And the MSME and the agriculture finances, the small businessmen, the small farmers who do not have access, they can be taken into the sector of financial inclusion, so that the area, because 70% of population still depends on agriculture, and the farmers are the main key to have to be a driver of a full financial inclusion. And we can take a benefit of all those farmers which are still uncovered. So the strategic recommendation could be, we can enhance the rural banking infrastructure. We can open a regional rural bank branches or some cooperative bank branches, and we can have a door-to-door survey or door-to-door a campaign which will enhance to make them aware regarding the banking facilities. At the same time, the public-private partnership also can be taken up, so that through some NGOs, through some kind of campaigns, the the unaware sector of the society can be made aware of that how the financial instruments are really helpful to them. To promote gender inclusive financial products, so various small self-help group which are owned by women, we can make them more inclined towards the financial inclusion, so that the gap between the genders can be reduced. And the another thing is that we can strengthen our cyber security, because cyber security is something a challenging area also, because there are a lot of cyber threats we are facing. So if we can have a robust mechanism which will provide or which can helpful in building the trust of the users, that financial mechanisms are very strong and they are safe to use, will still be able to have a better financial inclusion over the period of time. These are some of the major government initiatives. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Mudra Yojana. Now government is also increasing the amount of Mudra Yojana under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana for those unorganized sector particularly, which will be very helpful to bridge the gap between the unorganized and the organized sector. Similarly, the Stand Up India scheme, which will provide the loans to SC, ST, and the women entrepreneurs, which will be really helpful to target the women related or gender related disparities. And the financial literacy and digital banking campaigns are run by RBI and the other NGOs and the other groups will be helpful to bridge the gap of public private partnership. So in conclusion, we can say that India is moving towards the financial inclusion, but we should be having a collaborative efforts regarding individual banking and the other financial companies, so that we can have a robust mechanism and we can bridge the gap through the infrastructure and financial literacy. That will be a better way to have a financial inclusion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dilip.
Hello.
Hello,
Divya,
sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
I would like to know the research gap of your paper, because financial inclusion is a very old topic nowadays, and
Yes,
most
sir.
texts which we have shared are available on internet, and AI
Yes, sir.
to provide these things.
Sir,
So
actually,
the
in my
gap-
paper,
my
in my
question-
paper, I'll be studying Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in very great detail, and I'll be using a primary survey, because somehow I felt that in the women in the rural areas are also not still not aware about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which has a better mechanism regarding zero balance account, the overdraft facilities. These are very essential, and in my final paper, I'll be dealing with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in a very specific manner, because the area of interest is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana and it lies under financial inclusion. So that was my major idea to present today.
So it means you have not done any analysis, you have not collected
Sir,
data.
not right now. Right now, I am still working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Next, we have Mr. Atul Gautam.
Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Atul Gautam, research scholar, political science at IMT University, Jaipur. I'm here to present the outlines of my paper, the titles as Public Policy on the Ground, Manrega's Effect on Marginalized Community in Tribal District Kinnaur of Himachal Pradesh. Next. Here is the introduction of Manrega. Manrega stands for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which was launched in 2005. It was initially launched in approximately 200 districts of all over in India, and in 2008 it was fully functioned all over the country. Manrega is world's largest employment guarantee scheme as per the number of participants. Some more important features of Manrega. Manrega guaranteed 100 days employment to the unskilled and unemployed rural people who seek employment. One more important feature of the Manrega is it prioritizes women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes of the society for the participation and to take benefit of the scheme. And third most important feature of the scheme is to develop sustainable resources and assets for the development of rural areas, such as building roads, irrigation, and land developments of the farmers in the rural areas. Manrega is a decentralized scheme, which means the planning of Manrega not done through the higher authority, but the planning of the works in Manrega done only on the panchayat basis. Now, why Kinnaur is important for the study of the policy impact like Manrega? Kinnaur is a scheduled tribal area of, as per the fifth schedule of Indian Constitution. It's the highest, highest mountainous district of Himachal Pradesh. Its highest peak is almost 68, 6,801 meters. Which name is Rio Pargil, and it almost isolated area, hilly terrain area, and the most of areas are not connected with the mainlands. There are people of tribal ethnicity. Almost 58% of people are belongs to tribal ethnicity, and so it becomes important to study the reach of the large studies like Manrega in these isolated areas. Some more demographic profile of Kinnaur. Kinnaur's population is less than 1 lakh as per the census in 2011. Although it's the third largest district of Himachal Pradesh as per area wise, but it's
Atul, share your objective and your analysis part.
Okay. So my objective is to study the two features of the scheme. That one feature belongs to the boosting the participation of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the policy, and second to build the assets for them so that they will be beneficial for their growth. And almost then the study is based upon two analysis that is mainly belongs to the the Manrega, which the first one is the participation part. The participation in Manrega of scheduled caste in the area is almost double of their participation as per the secondary data provided in the Rural Ministry of India from 2021 to 2024. And same in the scheduled tribes, participation is more than 5 to 6% of their population share, which showing is very good impact of the policy in the this region like Kinnor. And the second one is assets. So there are 4 types of assets which can be built through Manrega in rural areas. That is category A, B, C, D. And category B type of assets are specially dedicated towards the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other backward classes. And the data shows of the last 3 years, the almost 61 to 72% Manrega works are dedicated towards the assets building for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other marginalized community. Plus, the assets are related to the farm, the land development, irrigation, which is boosting their productivity of the apple, which is apple plays a vital role in economic section of the Manrega. Now, outcomes, the participation is resulting in the ensuring the basic income security and strengthening the social status of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Second, the outcome it's giving equity that is the main goal of constitution, to giving maximum privilege to the marginalized community of the society. Third, it's stopping people to stop their migration from rural to urban areas. And lastly, they are getting employment in their off season of their farming season, which is a very good outcome of the policy. And as per as asset which I have earlier mentioned, the assets are हाँ सर same asset दोनों सर 2 output हैं there is an unmet goal of Manrega. Manrega, hence the feature of Manrega, main feature is 100 days employment guaranteed, but the data shows that only half of the goal is fulfilling because of some hurdles. That is due to the unawareness of the people and slow projection from the panchayat side, and delay in the approval of funds from higher authorities. There are main reasons which are not fulfilling the 100 days employment goals. Some recommendation. The first recommendation is there was a policy in Himachal Pradesh which was launched in 2016 and stopped in 2012. That was incentive-based policy that government used to distribute the household items to the participants who achieved 90 plus days in Manrega, and that scheme was stopped. We don't know why the scheme has stopped, but we recommend these schemes like a cashless incentive-based scheme must be applied to all the governments of Himachal Pradesh as well in the country also. The second is the works, most of the work should be diverted towards the apple farming, because apple farming is the main crop and economic boost crop of the Kinnor area. And third is I have already discussed the 100. The government should ensure the smooth document process so that to achieve the 100 days employment.
एप्पल प्लीज एप्पल फार्मिंग में सैपलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन गवर्नमेंट ने किया था
सर,
ठीक है इन 2023 24 में किया था इस साल में, बट it was used, I mean it was resold and it was not used for export. The apple which was generated was not used. So मनरेगा वहाँ ये वाला जो स्कीम था वो वहाँ पे फ्लॉप हो गया था. आपका क्या रिकमेंडेशन है to avoid these kinds of fatal of government policy? What is your recommendation?
Sir, as per my recommendation, sir, what I have observed, sir, जब मैं सर्वे में गया था, तो what I observed that main requirement of the area is sir, canal irrigation. That is the main support of the apple farming. So we should mainly concern about the building more and more canals to the fields of the farmers, so that there will be no problem in the irrigation in the off seasons. सर एक्चुअली क्या है ना, वहाँ पे इरिगेशन का मेन सोर्स है सर, ग्लेशियर का जो पानी है वो कैनल्स बनता है सर, कैनल्स के थ्रू इरिगेशन होता है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है। तो समटाइम्स नॉट मनरेगा के फुल पूरा फंड इरिगेशन में नहीं जाता, हाफ ऑफ द फंड किसान खुद से लगाते हैं अपने पर्सनल फील्ड में, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रखा है। तो सो कंसंट्रेट हो जाए इरिगेशन पे तो बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट होगा सर किसानों के लिए वहाँ पे इरिगेशन।
हाँ, पर किसान जिस ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए सैम्पलिंग्स जो दिए गए थे, सैम्पलिंग्स, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव ही नहीं पूरा हो पाया ना, वो तो बेच दिया उन्होंने, और वो पूरा का पूरा स्कीम ही फ्लॉप हो गया।
सर
So, as an individual researcher, what is your recommendation to the government so that their scheme does not get flopped? You are saying irrigation. That is one aspect.
that what I observed sir, irrigation is most required.
Good.
And as far as sapling distribution, sir, government should monitor the plantation and ensure the maintenance of the plants also.
Good. I mean, I like the. Hello, sir. Sir, good evening, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm.
Yes, sir. Rajni, sir, आपके कोई question है? Please do ask.
My one question was initially, I think few slides I missed. Possibly I was not able to see those initial few slides. So this was your sample was for the entire country or only for a particular
For the particular districts.
only district? Okay, which district was it?
Sir, it was KEYNOTE district of Himachal Pradesh. It's a tribal district, sir.
Any particular reason for selecting that?
Sir, it's an isolated area and a tribal area, and it's not connected to the mainland. So it's becomes important to study the large policies and its impact in that areas.
Okay. So I think this instance, that's why you have apple farming as one of the recommendation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Atul, just one suggestion. You are writing a paper, right? So paper is always based on some kind of analysis. It is not based on our own beliefs, right?
Sir, I have secondary data of 3 years.
It's okay, but I have not seen any table of the data, any analysis, any test of statistics, any trend analysis. Okay, so there must be some identified variable. There must be data related to that variable. We should apply some test, and our finding should be based on our analysis. It should not be journalized finding. Okay, just a suggestion. Thank you. Next, please.
Next, we have Ms. Tina Rao and Mr. Darshit Kanabar.
I'll do it.
Last session should be. Last.
Escape दबाओ और फला.
Yep.
No, it is not open. MET, this one. Share. I'll do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You guys.
Okay.
The best man has been just
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tina. I am presenting a paper along with my colleague on the impact of financial inclusion initiative in rural Maharashtra. So as sir said, it's an old topic. So I have constructed my study only regarding Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in rural Maharashtra. Okay. So financial inclusion have been considered as a hinder to rural growth, and many of the people residing in rural area, they have not been part of financial system. So in 2014 to 28th August, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was launched to provide a financial assistance to rural Maharashtra. The objective of the paper is to measure access, how many people are currently have the operative accounts and how many of them are regularly using those account, access uses, and evaluating socio-economic effect and identify the barrier in the rural Maharashtra. Starting with the methodology, we have used a descriptive case study completely based on secondary data. So our data is from Ministry of Finance, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana Progress Report, Reserve Bank of India, Niti Aayog, and from Financial Inclusion Report. Our findings is divided into these four analytical framework: account accessibility, usage and transaction activity, linkage to the welfare scheme, and the last is socio-economic effect. So let me start with the finding. Starting with finding and result. As I said, it is divided into four parts. So this is the first part, account accessibility. It is the overall Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana record overall India. So we have more than 51 crores accounts right now. Out of them, 81 to 86% are operative. And even though it was started with zero balance, now many people have grown past that. The zero balance account had reduced, and people on average they are keeping around 4,000 as a balance in their account. And as mentioned in the earlier study, women of course are owning 56% of those accounts, but still we have some of the barriers which we will discuss ahead. And our study is regarding rural Maharashtra. So in rural Maharashtra, these are the number of accounts that we have. This is the current data, March 2025. So in rural and semi-urban area, we have 2 crore 1,63 around of accounts. In urban and metro cities, we have 1 crore 65 lakh and 41,000 around. And total account in Maharashtra alone, we have 3 crore 67 lakh 4,992. And if you can see the data below, the number of accounts over the years, they have keep on increase. Continue with the excess. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, out of all these accounts, 80% of the accounts are operative and 20% are of course not regularly used, inoperative. And over here also in Maharashtra, in rural Maharashtra, women are on front, so they are holding 28% of these accounts. The second is usage and transaction activity. So how the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is currently operating. First, it has digital transactions. So it includes UPI and RuPay debit card. Once they open the account, they get RuPay debit card. So they are operating through that, and mobile banking. Second is direct benefit transfers linked to the directly Aadhaar card. So government provides subsidy, incentive directly to the account, direct benefit to the beneficiaries. And last we have is overdraft facility, which is given to the, it started with 5,000 only, but now after 2018, it is 10,000 for if any person want to withdraw more than that. The third is, what is the linkage of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana to welfare scheme? How it is benefiting to the small section of the people in rural area. So first, the direct benefit transfer. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana account are the primary medium for transferring direct benefit. So any government, if they want to transfer subsidy to the farmers and any incentives or to women, these are the account, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. This is the direct benefit they get it from here. The second major schemes, I'll read out the few of them, which are linked with Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. It is divided into three categories. First, social security and insurance. These are linked with Pradhan Mantri. So first we have is Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. So the person will get accidental insurance up to 2 lakh. In second one, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, life insurance coverage of 2 lakh. Atal Pension Yojana, mentioned in the previous study for unorganized sector. So this is a pension scheme for unorganized sector. Second one is welfare subsidies and transfer. So under that we have PM Kisan Yojana. Annually, people residing in the rural area, the farmers, they will get annual benefit of 6,000. Manrega 100, as mentioned earlier, 100 days of guarantee employment. So the wages from that directly again transfer to the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan account. Food subsidy, if government is providing subsidy for basic necessity, rice, wheat and everything, they are directly transfer over there. Then women and child welfare also linked with this. We have in women and child welfare, we have Janani Suraksha Yojana. This is cash intensive for institution for delivering children. Then Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, financial assistance to pregnant women and mothers. Scholarship and midday meal transfer in rural area. Normally schools have that midday meal. So even that is linked with Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Now, the last one of our finding is social economic outcome of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. What it has provided in the rural Maharashtra, it has given financial inclusion and accessibility compared to what it was in 2040. Prior to that, it has increased the number of transactions. People are now using UPI, they are using debit card, they are opening accounts. And so the financial inclusion compared to last 10 or 12 years, that has increased. Women empowerment, as I showed you earlier, more than 50% of account are held by women, and those women who are residing in rural area, they are not working, they are not corporate women, so even they are becoming part of banking system now. Then poverty reduction and welfare delivery. Over here we can mention PM Kisan Yojana and Manrega, the daily wages that a farmer or a people who are getting from government. It is a one step ahead to give them employment. So with employment, it can lead to poverty reduction. Then economic security and insurance. Just in the last slide, I mentioned Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Suraksha Yojana and Bima Yojana. They are the part and package link with Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. And last is digital and cashless economy. The account itself is linked with your Aadhaar card number, and with GEM Trinity, that is Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, it is linked. So now the transaction with UPI, with mobile banking, that has increased. So in rural area that is also playing a role of now cashless economy. And next, we have what we have learned out of the findings. Even though Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana has been financially advanced, a step to reduce the gap between the people who are not using it earlier and now people who have increased the number of uses. We also find that there are many 20% or 20 to 25% that are dormant accounts. So that's been a concern right now. That suggests that financial literacy program is important. Banking infrastructure is important in rural area. Network connectivity, and depend on this. This is the recommendation related to the finding. What we need to do is strengthen financial literacy campaign, coming up with financial literacy program or campaign within the rural area to making everybody part of banking system. Reduce dormancy through intensive. So government can come up with some certain intensive amount for those people who are not using it regularly, because it was started with zero balance account and now few of the people are still not part of it. So even though government is providing such kind of platform, government can give certain kind of intensive or amount of money to make them part of this banking system. Then enhance digital infrastructure. Of course, rural areas do not have the kind of infrastructure that urban has. So providing ATM, banking system over there, a branch in an area where there was no earlier banking system. And last is periodic account review and re-KYC. And I will conclude with Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, proven to be a transformative step toward inclusive growth, expanding formal banking coverage, and fostering a culture of saving. The next step of success, however, can be depend upon the reducing dormancy, promoting active account users, financial literacy, linking all account with RR card number, and insurance scheme to ensure sustainable development of rural household. Thank you so much.
Sir, do you have any question?
Yeah. This topic again, Jan Dhan account and the financial inclusion has been widely studied. For this particular region, possibly I would be interested to know how different impact of financial inclusion was here in this area. You could have like a recommendation which you gave about incentive for maybe better uses. If you can give some example, what kind of incentives you are recommending, maybe that those examples I will be willing to understand kind of financial or non-financial incentive you're talking about.
Okay, sir. So, farmers they get annually they get around 6,000 rupees in PM Kisan Yojana. So, to reduce a dormant account, what the government can do at least annually, if they can transfer 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, a minimum amount of money, to those people who are not currently using the account, and make them, with that incentive, make them a part of this banking system, so that even they come under this Jan Dhan Yojana, they become part of it. They start using the account every day, and be like a step forward in the growth.
Will it not create kind of problem? In fact, then it will promote more people not to use, so that they will get a incentive.
But once it start, you can stop the incentive.
Correct. So this is what it's a kind of study area in economics, that incentive for what, right? Incentive for negative sentiments, incentive for negative your instruments, which creates more inactiveness in the society. So possibly that's why people, regulators, authorities, they refrain from doing this.
So just
I can recommend you something you could have thought about.
Yes,
can we look at some incentive in terms of like giving free insurance to like those insurance which you were talking about, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. So if you use it regularly for 8 months, for even 12 months, then you will be getting free Pradhan Mantri Bima Suraksha Yojana. Those could be a possible recommendation.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You presented well. Just a suggestion for you. Like this topic can be analyzed in many more ways.
I know, sir.
Like pre-post analysis. Before this Yojana, what this scheme, what was the status of Maharashtra in comparison to the entire nation? Now, after, what is the status of Maharashtra, right? And there are many possibilities, like district-wise inequalities you can compare.
Yes.
For Maharashtra, which district is still under lagging behind, right? Not basically banged. So I think there is a lot of possibility in this topic. The topic is really old. Okay. But you need to add some data.
Yes.
Some of the data you have already shared, but source was missing. Right?
Okay.
I have not seen the source.
Okay.
What was the source of that information? Source.
Pradhan Mantri progress report from the website, the official website.
As well as the NABARD. And again, analysis. Where is analysis? Okay. Research paper is not just about sharing available facts.
Yes.
Okay. It is about applying some kind of analysis. Right?
Definitely.
And coming towards a new thought, new idea, new solution of existing problems.
Yeah. Don't want to give any excuses, sir. Just want to tell you this is the first time that I have presented.
Oh, that's why we are appreciating. You
because
presented
I have no idea what to do. And
so
how
we
to
want
do
that
it.
you should
So
get some idea from this.
definitely,
Next time
next time,
when you
yeah.
come here,
Yes, yes.
you must be well
Definitely.
prepared with some fact-based research paper.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Thank you
All
so
the
much.
best. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just.
Okay, please.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite our respective session chairs to kindly share their guidance, feedback, and tips and the area of improvement for our participants so they may benefit further from your experience and expertise.
Sir,
Yeah, please, I will be happy to hear from your side first, then I will start.
सर हम चाहते थे पहले आप बोले आपकी एक्सपर्टीज
Okay. Right. So I think most of the papers presented here, I could see three papers properly. The recommendations, all the panel session chairs they have given you. In fact, these are our opinions based on the work you presented to us. There may be some limitations in the methods that you presented to us, but in actual maybe you are doing something different. You couldn't summarize in just 8 minutes. In fact, I will tell you, I am not of the very good opinion that conferences should have 8 minutes of presentation. I will here recommend this. We all as academicians, we should make a platform where we should have conferences for 20 minutes at least for presentation and 5 minutes for discussion. But yes, nevertheless, we have time limitations. We have many papers to accommodate. But all the participants here, what you can do here, interact with each other, talk to the session chairs who are there with you, take their opinions, and if you are a scholar, you follow your supervisors more. But yes, everybody's opinion will help you to take your paper to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I truly agree what Sir said, and I must appreciate the efforts of the entire team who has worked very hard for this conference. As Sir said that observe everything, the same thing I would repeat that yes, see the problems around you and find out the solution for the same. The problems are plenty, and from that problem, it's not that it is not necessary to have a structured format of paper presentation, but a solution for the problem. That is what my opinion is, and please go ahead with that solution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to all our distinguished speakers, guests, Dr. Gautam Kramakar sir, Dr. Rajnikant Rajan sir, and Dr. Samrat Srivastav sir for their valuable insight, and to our session co-chair, Dr. Abhineet Saxena sir and Dr. Ashutosh Kumar sir for steering the discussion so meaningfully. And our sincere thanks also goes to the participants, the session coordinators, and the technical support team whose efforts has ensured the smooth conduct of today's proceedings. And also a gentle reminder to all the participants, tomorrow we will be begin our session in the morning with the same link. We look forward to our active presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Everyone.
So P is available in the next room. So you all have a group. Yes, we should. All of you please join us. Sir, could you please photograph? Yes. We need, sir, 2 more minutes from your side for a photograph.
Thank you, Dr. Ashutosh sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Shall I stay or can I disconnect?
We are having a group photo, so you
Stay here.
Sure.
All of you please join us.
Please join everyone quickly.
Come fast.
आज
Coordinators also you can join. Come.
आ जाइए ऑडियंस भी
सर बीच में दिखता है.
दिख रहा है सर आ जाइए हाँ चाहिए ना थोड़े आगे
आगे आ सकते हो.
माइनस में ले लो सारे
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Dr. Rajnikant. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, okay. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Chalo. Now you're free.